Hello again, everybody. Barry Hyatt here in Scottsville at the UK Extension Office with my good friend Janet Johnson. Janet, we're talking fall here, but it's still really hot outside, isn't it?
Oh, who can believe it, Barry, that fall has come and we are ready for cool weather, at least at night.
Yes.
But, gee, the summer does linger on.
It's not wanting to leave.
What is summer? But we still have faith that it will be cooler. And, you know, I was able to sit on my deck last weekend, and it was a little bit cooler, so that's a good sign of things to come.
We're keeping our fingers
crossed.
crossed.
So I thought we'd kind of jump from where we left off last month, where we were working with some shredded chicken.
Sure.
But now use the shredded chicken that you could freeze if
Okay.
you did a big batch and you know, pulled it out. But we're going to use it in a soup.
Outstanding. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
We're going to get ready for tailgating. We're going to get ready for just a quick supper. Soups can be made ahead. They're good to put in the crock pot, and it's all good. So what we have done to get ready today that I think you're going to show folks is we are using just a basic recipe for potato soup. And this is a great recipe that you can add many different variations.
Okay.
Now, when I visit a particular Italian restaurant in Bowling Green, it is a franchise restaurant. They have delicious soups and salads and breadsticks. But one of my favorite soups is a zuppa toscana, and that is Italian for a potato soup. But they have, again, a potato soup that has sausage.
Okay.
Now, what we're doing today is we're going to kind of pull the sausage back, you know, to cut a few calories. But those sausages do add spices. So I'm going to give you some variations today that you can spice it up.
Okay.
But we're going to use some of the shredded chicken that we did
Awesome.
for the salad
Yeah.
last month. We're going to pull it and put it into this potato soup. A great potato soup, Barry, starts with just choosing a couple of different types of potatoes. And if you want a really thick soup, what you'll choose, a really thick soup, is that you want to choose a russet potato.
Okay.
Because they tend, they're the baking potato, as
Yes,
we often call
sure.
them, but they will, again, fall to pieces. And they will make your soup very, very thick. So what I've done today is kind of mix it up. I've used a couple of russet potatoes, but I've also used some what we call new potatoes or red potatoes, and you don't have to peel these. They add color. They're considered a waxy potato, so they hold their shape better. They're great for potato salad, all of those.
They're great, yeah.
So we're going to mix it up with the soup and use both of these varieties of fall potatoes.
Cool,
in that
very nice.
too. So what we did peel the russet. We did not peel the red. We just chopped it up. You can cut it in small pieces if you want to cook faster. I just chopped it in fairly large pieces, but enough that it's going to cook down.
Right.
And what we have here is that we have taken a little bit of olive oil and heated that for about a minute. Then I chopped a yellow onion.
Okay.
Choose your onion. I would use the yellow onion or the sweet Vidalia onions.
Okay.
If I were going to choose an onion, perhaps not a red onion for this.
Okay.
Okay. And 3 pods of garlic. Now, depending on your garlic taste, those pods can be fairly large or tiny.
Sure.
So I'm going to say 3 of the size that you like. All right. I took the chopped onion, the garlic, sauteed it just until it was tender in the olive oil. Then I added the equivalent of like 6 large red potatoes.
Okay.
Now, if you want more soup, you add more potato.
All right.
So this is kind of a recipe that you can vary with what you have at home. Maybe you have 4 red potatoes or maybe 2 or 3 russets. Just kind of feel that out.
Sure.
Okay. The equivalent cups, I did between 6 to 8 cups of chopped potato. So that gives people an idea. That's a large amount of potato. Okay. So then I also took a half a cup of chopped carrot. I just took some peeled snack carrots that I have on hand, and I chopped some of those up, the equivalent of a half a cup or a little more. And so what I've done is I have cooked the potatoes with the onion and the garlic, and you can see that these are getting very, very tender and very mushy with russet potato, because that gives you a thickness to this soup just by itself, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to stir in some shredded chicken. The amount is up to you. I would use 1 to 2 breasts depending on the size. And remember, we're cooking those chicken breasts in water with a little salt and pepper. And then we're taking 2 forks, our 2-fork technique.
Yes.
And we're just pulling those apart and shredding those. And if you want to do a lot, if you get a value pack at the grocery, then you can save some, put some barbecue sauce on it.
There you go.
And you got some sandwiches going. So this is a good way to use value cuts of chicken breast in different ways.
You had mentioned sausage earlier when we first started.
I did.
Is this, with chicken, this is probably a silly question. I think I know the answer before I even ask the question, but is this a lot less fat involved
It is.
versus
That's
sausage?
absolutely it.
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to cut out, fat and the sodium. Because we're not cooking, when you're cooking the chicken breast down, it creates its own chicken broth, by the way, and you want to save that, freeze that for later, or use it in your soup.
Okay. Very
So,
good.
we've got something going on the whole time here just from a basic chicken breast. So,
Yeah.
And it is less sodium. Less sodium.
Okay. Good deal.
Now, if you perhaps had the chicken breast and you had them frozen in the freezer, we already had them like this, and you bought your chicken broth, you might want to choose a reduced sodium chicken broth.
Okay.
Again, you can cut your sodium with this recipe. Vary it just to taste like that. So you can see we've got this nice rich potato broth here with potatoes and carrots, and you can see how the red potatoes hold their shape.
Yes.
Whereas the russets tend to thicken and cook down. So that's what I'm saying. Choose the type of potato that you like. I think the recipe we're going to share with people will say red potatoes.
Okay.
I like to mix it up myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say you have, and it looks great.
I
Yeah.
do. I like the thickening effect that you get from that. So we're going to add a couple of cups or a little more of chicken, depending on your chicken breast, just 2 chicken breasts that we've cooked and we've shredded and we have used the broth. And notice how that also begins to thicken up your potato soup, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this potato and chicken mixture and we're going to add kale. Another great winter
twist.
green, yes. And the amount is up to you. I think with our recipe, we're looking at 4 cups. This is 8, so we'll do about half of this. But I want to show you the amount of kale that you get with one bunch that you buy. You'll pull it off of the thick stalks, and then you'll tear it into smaller pieces. Like we're showing, you know, what the stalks look like.
Like one stalk would be about this big.
Exactly. So you're simply tearing that off and putting it, tearing it into smaller pieces. You're taking the thick stalk and discarding that.
Right. You don't want the stalk part. You just want the leaves, basically.
So one bunch that I could buy at my local grocery gives me 8 cups of kale. So this is only calling for 4. So we're going to use this kind of to what you have with your soup, and we're going to add the kale to it. Now, anyone who cooks greens like turnip greens or collard greens or mustard greens, they know that it takes a lot of green to go a little way. They really cook down. So that's why at least 4 cups, and we're going to stir that in. I'll let you go ahead and do that, Barry. And we're going to hold off and see what that looks like here. Now, this will wilt down. Barry's got it in a stock pot. It looks pretty neat. But
making a little bit of a mess.
No, he's not making any mess. He's not. Now, again, this soup is thicker because what did we use? Russet potatoes with the red potatoes. So you may want to add a little bit of chicken broth or water that you may have, but it's going to cook down.
Yes,
I
can already tell.
And in fact, I'm going to give you a couple of other variations with this recipe. Now, if we were to stop right now, you would have a really nice hearty soup with the shredded chicken and the kale, and you only need to let that kale kind of get to the point that it's just cooked a little, because the color is beautiful.
Yes, it really is.
And it's not a tough green anyway. But you want it to soften just a little bit, and it will. So don't overcook it. You don't want to cook it too long.
How long would you want to cook it approximately?
Maybe 5 minutes.
Okay.
You know, maybe depending on the thickness of your soup and what you've got going on, you might have to cook a little longer and let it reheat like that. But you can begin to see that. Now, the other option to thin your soup, if you want to, is that you could use extra chicken broth or water. But I'm going to add a few more calories, Barry.
Okay, well, we can stand a few probably.
You know, just a few. So I'm going to take and just thin the soup just a little with some heavy cream.
Okay.
This will make your soup have a richer texture. It completely changes the look of the soup.
It really does.
But do you see, Barry, what's happening?
Yes.
Again, the heavy cream, and this again is going to be a little more like your Italian restaurant zuppa Toscana soup. It's going to have a little bit of that look to it.
These guys have nothing on you.
Well, I didn't think so either, Barry. But, you know, we're just putting that cream in until it's warm, and that also helps thin, but it adds some texture.
It definitely does,
to the soup as well. So that when we're ready to serve this soup up, we'll go ahead and kind of show folks what it looks like.
Okay. You go ahead, that's fine.
I'll just put a ladle. Now remember, I don't like to cook my kale very long at all. Now you may want to cook it a little longer, but look at this rich, hearty soup that's coming out here. This is a beautiful potato, carrot, kale soup. Isn't that
looks
lovely?
awesome, yeah. It really does.
It's a lovely, lovely soup, and it's so good for you. And then I might even add a little bit of Parmesan cheese on
At the top. Why not?
Yeah, I think I will. But it's a great basic soup that you can change with whatever protein you put, be it sausage, be it chicken breast, and it's wonderful, hearty, and really a great fall dish.
Guess it just depends on anybody's preference, really, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. Absolutely.
Well, Janet, this looks awesome, and I'll tell you what, guys, if you would like this recipe, it's oh so easy to get. You can get it in one of two ways. You can email me at North Central. My email address there is barry.hyatt@nctc.com, or you can simply go to our website. The website address is www.nctc.com. We'll make sure it's on our website for you as well, and you can check it out and make it. And as I've said several times in the past, we put the video up there of this broadcast along with the written recipe as well, so you can kind of follow along. Yeah,
absolutely.
Which is a great idea, I think.
It is. Great idea, Barry.
So, and maybe, Janet, just maybe, keeping our fingers crossed here, maybe it'll start getting a little cooler outside so we can enjoy this even more.
We hope so. So keep it on hold till it kind of warms down and gets a little cool weather, but you're really going to enjoy this. I promise you that.
I think so. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Janet.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you again here real soon.